Hey everyone.
The year is 2016 and Bloxburg just added a new furniture store.
Now let's talk to Susan Joyner. Welcome to the Fancy Furniture. We have the fanciest furniture in town. I would like to buy some furniture. Sure, just walk up to one of the display stands and buy something. You can also buy furniture directly in build mode. So in today's video, we are going to build a house but using only items from the furniture shop. Now if you have been playing Bloxburg for a while now, you know that all of the furniture in here is actually furniture that was in the game since 2016. These items are the first items that were ever added in build mode. So we have some of the counters right here, so the brown counters. Now as you can see, there is no bathroom stuff, so we might have to cheat a little bit, but we'll try our best not to do that. Now this is quite nostalgic for me, as well as probably a lot of other players in the game, because these furniture items are so old now and the furniture store hasn't been updated in such a long time. So I feel like we'll have a blast with this one. We just get an easy layout done first so that we can start with the house. Okay, so this is the floor plan. Now for furniture, all that I can use, and I'm gonna put it on my plot so that I have a quick view of it. Simple chair. Now this is not the same chair as we had in 2016. It was a lot more boxy and a lot more curvy. Now we also have this log bench. I'm not quite sure if I will use that one. We have the modern couch. That one was also in the game in 2016, the more expensive model. And then we have these oval sofas that no one really loves. I understand why. I keep opening my menu right here. Oh my god, this is annoying. Anyways, beds. We have this bed, and we also have the modern bed. And I think this standard single bed was also in the game, but since it is not in the store, we will not be able to use it. And one thing I always, in the beginning of Bloxburg, I was so into the modern stuff. I use it everywhere. And now that I look at it, in 2023, which is 7 years later, I hate how this curves up and the mattress is curved as well. Like, imagine putting a mattress in like this. There's no mattress that looks like this. But anyways, continuing on, we have this counter from 2016, and we also have this from 2016. The elegant counter, the classic counter. This was also in the game in 2016, but it's not in the store again. Chairs, we have 3 options: simplicity chair, then this elegant chair, and the modern chair. Now some of the textures changed over the years, so they don't exactly look the same as they did in 2016, but close enough. For tables, there's only one table that we can use, and that is the modern dining table. Then for lamps, and I love to come back to this every single time because it's just so amazing to me how much Bloxburg has changed. But we only had floor lamps back in the day and some wall lights. Like, we had this curved wall light. We did not have ceiling lights. So every time you wanted some light in your house, I'm trying to find this lamp, you needed to add floor lamps everywhere. So like, you couldn't have a light above your dining tables. I personally used those rounded garden lights and I hid them like behind my furniture like this, just to light up some areas in my house. It was a painful time, but they don't sell these at the stores. We're not adding them. Then for storage, they have this bookshelf with the books inside of it. Imagine the people who ask for updates one day after an update releases that they started playing in 2016, and they only had these items in the game. They would probably not be okay. And a lot of this stuff, it's a singular bookshelf by the way, but a lot of this stuff is also scattered throughout the starter houses, because the starter houses also haven't been updated in a few years now. So if you buy a starter house, it's actually quite nostalgic for older players. Then this plant, also have another potted plant that we can use. The roses, which was a super expensive item back in the day. It's $400, that was super hard to make. And then we have these books in the store as well. And then lastly is the painting canvas, or the painting stand. Now some cheat items that I will use, because that's not a lot, but some cheat items that I will use are this tilt bathtub that was in the game in 2016. The basic shower was in the game in 2016. It did look different though, they updated the model. Then a toilet. I feel like the only toilet that I can justify is the modern toilet, because that's the only model that they didn't really update throughout the years. I'm also going to be trying to not add the new materials that we have gotten over the years as well. So really stick to the old stuff. And for appliances, we had this $500 fridge, which is also a cheat item because they don't have it in the store. We did have a microwave. We had the barbecue, but I won't be using that one. We also had this toaster and the kettle as well. And then we had this basic stove. So these are my cheat items just to get my moods up. I still need a television. Now, the starter house always had this television in the starter house, even the first starter house, so I'm 100% sure that was also in the game. So that's another cheat item to get my moods up with. Now, anyways, time to start decorating this house. And this is my most 2016 house since I started building houses. If you look at some of my older videos, I'm quite embarrassed about them, I'm not gonna lie. But that was the way we built back then. And even though I wasn't the greatest builder, I still thought I wasn't the worst one. So I did some speed builds and I was actually quite proud of them at the time, especially my island build and my family house, which right now I can't look at anymore. I'm just too embarrassed about it. So yeah, times change. Oh, and another cheat item that I will add is this box sink or tilt sink, because that was also in the game back in the day. So that's another cheat item that I'm going to use. Now for the bathroom, we do not need a lot of stuff. I guess a toilet, a bathtub, because you know how I feel about using showers with curtains. And then the last cheat item that I will do is a tilt pedestal sink, because we also had that in the game in 2016. But that's like all of the stuff that I will use. Just some kitchen stuff, some bathroom stuff. That's all. I'm not gonna do more than that. Another fun fact about us in 2016, so we didn't have closets. We weren't able to change our clothes. Oh, and the doors I'll be using are also from 2016, but they kind of look good still, so I'm glad about that. What I was saying is that we didn't have closets in the game in 2016. And sorry, I keep opening my menu. So when we did like a walk-in closet or just a closet in general, we ended up using the bookshelves as like closets, which was kind of strange. Like for us it was normal, but right now just putting a bookshelf into a bedroom, it feels a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm trying to make it as I would do it in 2016. So to add some detail, you would add like the same plant everywhere. Even though it didn't look good, we still did it because it was like the only type of decoration we could really use. And then in the hallway, I usually put one of these paintings just to fill up my hallways. I never knew what to put in my hallways because I was kind of broke and like didn't really ever know what to do there. Now moving on to the living room, sofas. Oh, and if I put windows in the house, I will also use windows that were available in 2016 just to keep the vibe of the place going. Now the thing is, we don't really, in the store, have a small table, or at least I didn't see one. No, there is not one. So I'm going to be using one of those counters, put my television on, which I'm not a fan of, but it's the best we can do. And right next to that, of course, another bookshelf. That's how we did it. And don't forget, there is no way to get ceiling lights, so the only way we can do it is by placing lights on the floor. Very important. I'm gonna add another light here as well. And what I used to do all the way back was give this specific lamp, and I regret it, but I'm going to do it again because that's how I did it back in the day. Is add the zebra print and make it white. No, not white, because right now we used to have different lighting in the game, but that changed, so gonna have to go with a darker color. But I used the zebra print on that light because I thought it looked so good and so modern, and right now I feel like it's not good. It's not great. I'm also not going to be placing carpets because they don't sell them at the store. We did have some carpets in the game back in the day. Then we can't forget to display our wealth with the $400 roses. And we will also need another light right here in the corner because otherwise that corner will be very dark. And because we had so many lights, I liked to cover them up with plants as well. Now we didn't really have advanced placing, so we just kind of placed them as close to the lamp as possible. And so this door was in the game in 2016, and that's what I'm going to be using. And for my windows, this window was in the game. There's a small sunset window, which I'm going to be using in the kitchen and at the dining table, maybe here as well, just to add some spice to it. Bedroom. And then we had another window. Now it is the same window, just larger. And that's the sunset window. And that's what I'm going to be using in these two rooms. Then for flooring, I loved to use those planks, painted them in like a brownish color. Gonna do the same thing for the hallway and the bedroom. Although the bedroom, it could have carpet. Old carpet, of course. And in bathrooms, there wasn't really a lot that we could do except for use small tiles, which usually, I think it was this floor. Yes, it was this floor, the mosaic, or the small rounded tiles. And I usually just painted all of my walls in like the same color because of the lack of options. Now, my bathroom is pretty dark, I must say. So we're gonna have to add a light like in here, which is super strange. Oh, and one thing I also felt like doing, and I don't know why I thought that looked good. It was like adding one pattern wall in a yellowish color and then copy that but change it to plastic. And I thought combining some colors, and this pains me to do it right now, made the house so much more interesting. So like I chose 1 or 2 walls that were accent walls. I'm crying inside. But yeah, those were my accent walls. And then I had like a normal color throughout as well. And then same thing with like the bedroom, but I did choose the same color as the living, or the living room at least. But I did choose another material, again, to spice it up a little bit. I'm looking for the birds. That's usually what I did in the bedroom. Like the birds, I thought that looked great. And for the outside, I did the same thing. I combined brick, then I combined it with the side paneling, like the wood, or not really wood, but the same thing that the starter house has. These stone lines. Then I did those in like a brighter color to make it look good. To make it look good. I say that as I made the most terrible 2016 house. And then one more thing I like to do was use these stones or some type of wood, which we didn't have a lot back then, so I ended up going with these planks for the modern aspect of the house. Now, this is what my 2016 houses look like. I feel very nostalgic right now. And then of course we need a roof. Now there were 2 ways to do roofs. One was click outside of the house, make it make a roof for you. That's what we're gonna do. The other one, a lot of players did, was click inside a room, click inside the other room, click inside this room, and then click inside the last room to cover your parts up. This is what your roof ended up looking like. You could always build an automatic roof for the entire house, so that's what I'm gonna do. And for my roof, there wasn't a lot of materials for the roof either. So I chose roof tiles, and then I tried to match it with the lightest texture that I used, or the heaviest, depending on my mood. Let's go for the heaviest one, the brick one, since that is the main material for the outside. And that is what I did. That is how I painted my house. Now I don't like this, so I'm gonna try and do it, but with the other side paneling that we have. Also feel like I haven't done a video like this in a very, very long time, because they usually end up flopping, but I do like to make this video. So let me know in the comments down below if you like these old type of videos that I used to do more back in 2018. I now make more list type of videos, and I kind of stepped away from those type of videos, but I definitely enjoy doing them, definitely enjoy looking back at what the game has become and what it was like for older players in the game, the nostalgic factor. So anyways, entering the house that we have built, the 2016 house, with the stuff from the furniture shop, and then some cheat items that were also in the game in 2016, just not sold at the furniture store. Do I have doors enough? I have doors enough. So this is the hallway, very plain and simple because there wasn't a lot that we could do. Moving on into the living room, and we have our television right here. Let me just turn that on straight away so we can see the news. Of course, we have a bookshelf here as well, and then our 2016 couches, the dining table with the expensive roses on it, hiding lamps behind plants, our 2016 kitchen, which is still pretty okay in today's world. I feel like kitchens don't really change that much, so we have like an okay kitchen, and we have a door to the non-existing backyard. It just like kind of ends up in nothing anyways. Moving on to the bedroom, which is usually across the hallway. Yeah, we have this beautiful wall material, a bookshelf as a closet because we did not have closets, and then we hit the, or I at least hit the bathroom behind the bedroom, which has a lamp because no ceiling lights, a wooden toilet, a very depressing sink, and a very depressing bathtub that does not go all the way up to the wall, which always annoyed me, but that's life in Bloxburg in 2016. And then for the outside of the house, same thing, it looks very 2016, although I do think with some minor changes you could technically update it to a house that works in 2023. I must say though, because this is all old stuff, it's super cheap to build it. So even with all of the furniture here and then my house and the furniture inside and the lamps, it's only $18,000. So building a house back in the day, saying as if I'm 90 years old, which I totally am, was super cheap. We didn't have to worry about basic shapes or expensive industrial windows and doors and materials and repainting everything and adding more detail than we should. It was just simple, and people complained about $20,000 houses. When I made a $20,000 house, I had a lot of comments of people saying like, that's too expensive. You should make houses for people that are affordable. You shouldn't do that. That's how it was in 2016 as well. So that kind of changed. But yeah, that's what the houses look like. Now anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe.